Lake Superior rocks all polished up.
So about 2 months ago, I spent a weekend on the Two Hearted River, and let me tell you, I was not prepared for what I saw when I got there. I think I came back with about 10 pounds of rocks, and I've been tumbling them ever since. So if you want to see the finished results, make sure you stick around to the end, and without further ado, let's get into it. This was my first attempt at tumbling rocks, and in hindsight, I couldn't have gone to a better place than Lake Superior to kick off this hobby. I documented the process from start to finish to share what I learned, and of course, the finished results. If you like shiny things, make sure to stay to the end as I included close-ups of all my favorites to wrap things up. This is the current setup. So we just got all the grits. Some aren't ready to move on to the next stage, so I just leave them aside. Make sure lots of sticky notes. Just a sweet band. First agate I found. First agate ever. This is petoskey stone. So I will probably tumble this for 3 days on stage 1, 1 day on stage 2, and then hand polish it to get the finished look. Hand polishing the petoskey rocks is actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. If you want to know more, just leave me a comment and I could post a separate video just on that. But I'll just leave some B-roll in here in the meantime, just to give you an idea of what the process looks like. Just loading up my rocks into the barrel for the first round of tumbling with rough 60-90 silicon carbide grit. This stage is just to round out the rough imperfections, cracks, divots, and give your rock a template, so to speak, to begin polishing from. If you have any cracks or holes left, it can make it easy for grit to carry over and you won't get that clean polished finish you're looking for. When filling your barrel with water, pour it until it reaches just under the top of your rocks. You'll get an eye for it and it doesn't need to be perfect. The ceramic medium isn't totally necessary in the first stage, it's really just to protect your rocks down the line, but I usually add a little in the first 2 stages just to be safe and avoid any cracking. Dropping half them on the floor isn't totally necessary, it's just the easiest way while filming. And all that's left is to seal the barrel and toss it on the rotary tumbler for the next few weeks, maybe even months. You haven't learned patience until you've tumbled rocks. This is about 3 weeks later, so let's see how our rocks are looking. Good lord, is that beautiful.
The white.
As you work your way through the stages into finer and finer grits, carefully and diligently clean every rock and the edges of your barrel before moving to the next stage, or you could risk having to go back a step if you cross-contaminate your grits. So you can see these ones are the ones that are ready to move on to stage 2. They're completely flawless, smooth. These were already very smooth when I got them from the beach, Lake Superior rocks. So these are just in stage 1 for a week. Exactly 7 days. You can see that quartz in there. That granite is beautiful. See the rings on this. It's gonna polish up nice. Look at this. Love these green stones with that quartz. Look at that. You can already see how ready that one is. So these will move on, and any of these, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so almost half. Still got to go in for at least another week due to imperfections. Get these wet. You want to always keep these wet so the grit doesn't solidify in these cracks. But this is a good example. You can see right there. Good backdrop. Smooth everywhere. I guess there's a little deposit there as well. But we got some cracking, so you gotta buff that out. That'll probably be at least 2 weeks more. So throw these back in. That first stage, these will move on. So yeah, I'm gonna actually let these tumble out for a few more weeks. I just wanted to give you an idea of what things look like after that first stage. So hopefully you found that useful, and I will see you in a few weeks. So we already knocked out stage 2, and we're moving on to stage 3, otherwise known as the pre-polish stage. This is where things begin to get exciting as your rocks are now cleared of their imperfections and are officially homebound. It's important not to pour your dirty water down your drains as the grit will clog up your plumbing, and the ones I have here are already cleaned up. Whew. After just 2 weeks in stage 3, we're ready for the final 4th stage, the polish. Check out this waxy finish they already have once they're dry. Aside from the final review, this is probably my favorite part of the whole process. The hard work and waiting is behind us, and the finish line is finally in sight. A pro tip that I learned is to use some good old-fashioned borax during or in between your final 2 stages. Here I added the borax with the final grit, however I now just pour in a teaspoon or 2 after the cycle's over and the rocks are cleaned up. It also gives them a nice squeaky clean shine, which doesn't hurt.
It's been exactly 2 months since we last checked in on our rocks. So some of them finished tumbling in just a few weeks, while others had to go back in for the same cycle and repeat. And that whole process obviously took a few months, but nonetheless, we are finished. I'm so excited.
One of the things I learned from tumbling these Lake Superior rocks is that softer stuff like sandstone and fossils like your petoskey stones and chain coral are going to tumble away a lot quicker and more aggressively. You can still tumble them, but you'll want to lower your expectations and shift your approach. Also, some rocks like granite have a tendency to chip and crack as they tumble, so they're always a gamble if you decide to tumble them. Most of the ones I gathered from Lake Superior have a solid hardness and should turn out great. I tumbled these for a total of 3 months, so several long, and I mean long, weeks on each grit phase. The most important tip I can leave you with is to take your time between stages, really cleaning your rocks well, and if you're unsure about one, just toss it back in and repeat the stage.
And here we are, Lake Superior rocks, all polished up. Looking good.
So I'll go ahead and pour these out and give you guys a close-up view. I feel like a kid in a candy shop right now. I'm blown away at how good some of these turned out. All local glacier rocks too. Incredible. I didn't count them, but I imagine there's a couple dozen in here. I probably should count them. It's completely dry. It's like the coastline of some Arctic place. Beautiful. There's a universe in every single one of these. I love these red rocks. Not sure what these are. Really pretty though. This is that one I showed pre-polish. Turned out great. This is one of my favorites, petrified wood, I think. Beautiful. Look at that. Found this one a mile away, sitting right on top in the river. Little chip up top. Not too worried about it. And this is my first agate ever. The bands. Then this one I actually found at my campsite, sticking out of the dirt. You can see all the layers there. Really cool. Littered all over in the UP. If you're a beginner rockhounder like me, consider getting books. Really, really helpful. This one I recently got. Be close up there. The authors. I like this one though because it's super beginner friendly. Has all the pictures. And I think I have about every rock in here. So as we look through the polished rocks, I'll kind of identify the ones that stick out and give you an idea of what we're looking at. Here's some banded shirt. And here's an unpolished example. You can see the rings. Really cool rock too. This one was a sleeper. I did not expect this one to tumble out so good. So this is, you can see, porphyritic basalt. Gorgeous stone. If you ever find these, definitely take some. Probably tumble out better than any other rock I found. Some granite. So these typically don't tumble out that well. They like to chip, especially in the last stage or two. But these ones turned out really good. So I don't know if it's just the red ones or what, but managed to get some granite as well from the batch. And the last example I'll give you here is quartz. Beautiful rock as well. Now, I found a couple agates in the Two-Hearted River that I actually didn't want to polish in case I ruined them, so I'll give you a close-up on these right now. Let me just get them wet first. Oh, looks like
I'm terrible with agates, but this looks like a water level one right there. I don't know. Maybe if you guys know, let me know in the comments down below. Another one. There's the bands. Boost rock. Super tiny, but cool. Some of the smallest ones are the best, like this one. Oh, let me get a better view. Oh, maybe not this one. Looks like granite with some quartz banding, possibly. This is probably my favorite. Look at that. See why? Yeah, my jaw dropped, hit the sand when I saw this one. Just wish it was bigger. That's what I say about all of them. Super cool. This one I actually found in a river in the lower peninsula a couple weeks ago. I just wanted to feature it because it looks so cool. I tumbled this for about 3 weeks and then took it out because I didn't want to risk damaging it, and I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't want to tumble away any of these bands. That nodule. Yeah, I found this while fishing for salmon. Maybe my favorite one. Little one. Pink and white. Super pretty. They're starting to get dry, but this one's moss agate, I think. Just too small to really tell for sure. More water level, maybe. Not sure about that one. So here's probably my favorite agate I found on Lake Superior. Super small, mostly host rock, but yes, I like rocks. Pretty cool. Hopefully you stuck around to the end, and if you did, let me know what you think. I'll leave some close-ups or some still shots of my favorite examples from this batch to finish out this video if you're interested. Otherwise, this is Billy from Bilbo Outdoors. Stay smooth. I also got this cool rock displayer. I think it's for leaves and things more flat, but yeah, I'm going to try to display some of these finished rocks in here. Let me know what you think, if you like them in here or outside. Kind of leaves a glare, but kind of show you how this works. It's like a plastic wrap here. There's the rock. But I think it looks really cool for photos at least. Here it is from the front. I actually don't love the glare it leaves, so I'm going to take them out, but it's kind of cool though.